Ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading from the U.S. Naval Institute's online news and analysis website. And if you're in the Navy, or if you're a Navy veteran, or you've been in the Navy, correct me if I'm wrong. And this is very interesting because Taiwan does face a possible blockade or invasion. It's likely not going to happen, but it could happen. We are at unfortunately, our weakest point that we've been in decades in this country. Since Jimmy Carter. Gee, what's the coincidence that we have two of the weakest points in American history under Democratic presidents? Anyway, it's Democrat, Republican. We were at a weak point with Nixon too. So we have 11 aircraft carriers. They have 2. Beijing has 2. And their president has modernized the Navy and the military. In fact, they had a corruption scandal and a bribery scandal years back, so he cleaned house. He's like 10 times. If we feel that Putin is like smart and, devious and, good at chess, this president is like 10 times smarter than Putin. In many respects. So they have 10 aircraft. We have 10 aircraft carriers. Taiwan is only 100 miles away from the mainland. We have 11 aircraft carriers. They have 2. So this is like stuff you would talk about in the 80s as kids, or early 90s, late 80s as young kids. Before the fall of the Berlin Wall. We have the USS Carl Vinson stationed off of the coast of California, in the Pacific. USS Harry Truman, Gerald R. Ford in the Atlantic. Iwo Jima and Eisenhower in the Middle East. Ronald Reagan also in the Middle East. And then the USS America in the Pacific off near Korea. If I'm wrong about any of this, let me know. Or if I'm not reading this correctly, let me know. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then there are other. Now they're all over the place. So they're constantly moving around. So that was actually a couple weeks ago. Anyway, the point is, they don't give all 11. Oh no, that's August 16th. Anyway, the point is the following. If you've lasted this long. They have 2 aircraft carriers. They only need 2. They're a million times smarter than we are. They also can invade Taiwan, and all they have to do, according to a Forbes article, interesting article, is since they have a 3-to-1 advantage in tanks, and their tanks are a lot more modern, the Taiwanese army has more tanks until China captures a port. Okay. So they can capture a port, and it's game over. They don't need to capture anything. The reason I'm focusing on the aircraft carriers is they can simply blockade. Here, the threat of, the largest country in the world invading Taiwan is growing every day. What the U.S. can do is stop it. This is NBC News. The establishment in this country is wrong about everything. We can't really do anything to stop it. They don't care. We've tanked our entire society and economy. But the interesting thing is, they can engage in a blockade, and where's the article here? The blockade would be devastating. It would only take weeks. And this could happen. And they have the aircraft carriers, and they have the other Navy vessels to do so. And they have. See, they obviously believe Taiwan is a part of the mainland. We know this. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I know this is bizarre and It could be boring or very fascinating for some people. I don't know. I'll put the Navy website within the description section. Taiwan and U.S. also face risk of most populous country blockading Taiwan. Okay. The blockade would be an invasion. The same thing. They could blockade and then... And God bless the people of Taiwan. I'm not advocating this happen at all. I don't want this to happen. This would be devastating. It could risk nuclear confrontation. Okay? We're at our weakest point militarily because mashed potato brains didn't follow what President Trump had negotiated. Biden is 100% at fault. All he had to do on January 21st was start the evacuation process, and the embassy, interpreters, everybody who wanted to come, who deserved to come to the United States for helping us, instead of having people fall from airplanes, which is, you give the Democrats control, you see like rampant homelessness, crime, soaring inflation, people falling from airplanes. This is what the morally superior liberals at the southern geographic region of our country. We have double capacity. I mean, they've turned away and detained more people than ever. It's the liberal, the apoplectic, morally superior liberals fail at governing, yet they have every single conceivable advantage possible. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now if you want to support this channel. My Patreon is below in the pinned comment and on hagoodman.com. You could read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications. You can see my writing in the Roanoke Times, The Jerusalem Post, The Hill, The Huffington Post, opposing and against counterinsurgency conflicts. Read those columns and op-eds. I wanted us out of Afghanistan. But Trump did it the right way. Biden did it the wrong way, just to spite Trump. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're in the Navy, or, you were in the Navy, God bless you. God bless all the veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan, Desert Storm, Vietnam. Give me your thoughts as to what I'm saying. I know this is not very enjoyable or interesting for a lot of people, but it's fascinating. We have 11 aircraft carriers. We can't put all 11 in the Taiwan Straits. They have 2. All they need is 2. Correct? Am I right on that? And it wouldn't be a matter of just aircraft carriers. They have other vessels as well. They have a very powerful navy. They also have the advantage, military advantage, 3-1 in tanks and 10-1 in a whole bunch of other comparisons. What happens if they... I used to be an intern for the Foreign Service Institute. It's a when I was in college. It's a part of the State Department. And oh yeah, I remember you. You were an intern. No, Bill. Although he was in office. Anyway, I worked in an office where they would play these like war game scenarios. And this is the type of thing you'd get like all of these professors and academics and experts. Back then they actually were experts. Now they're just, who knows what they are now. But what do we do? If you're in the Navy, if you're in the military, Marines, Army, Air Force, what do we do? Because they would have air superiority. They would have the advantage in terms of the blockade. I don't. How would we stop? How would we prevent a blockade? That's not an overt. It's obviously a military, an act of war, but it's not an overt. You're not, launching missiles or. So how do you prevent a blockade? You tell me if you're in the military or if you're have family in the military. You tell me, how do you prevent a blockade from taking place? I don't know. What would mashed potato brains do? Who knows? He would not do anything. I don't know what he would do. How can you? It would be a nuclear confrontation at a certain point. That's how during the Cuban Missile Crisis, that's how we prevented. That's how we forced the Soviets to ship the missiles out of Cuba with the blockade. So how do you prevent that? They don't even have to invade in an amphibious assault. They can simply blockade Taiwan. And then what do? We have just had a devastating, catastrophic loss in Afghanistan that through no fault of the heroism and the courage and bravery of our soldiers. Men and women who have suffered and sacrificed, and we owe a debt of gratitude to the veterans of this country from Vietnam, Desert Storm, Korea, World War II, every war, every conflict. We can never repay you. But what do we do? What does Biden do? And in terms of resignation, he'll be forced to resign if that happens by even Democrats. Look, Democrats have a point. Ron Kim, they have a certain point where they don't, even Tammany Hall. There's a very courageous Democrat, Ron Kim, in New York, who went after Cuomo when Cuomo was at his height, when he was getting the Emmy and book deal, $5 million book deal. So God bless Ron Kim, amazing man, went after Andrew Cuomo. I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party at all, as you can tell from this channel. But Ron Kim, New York Democrat, is an amazing human being. There's some Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard is an amazing human being, veteran. But what do? You think Biden resigns? You think he'll be forced to resign? You think Democrats will actually call for his resignation? They get President Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris, becomes president if he's forced to resign. And then it's, they've blockaded Taiwan. What? Why are you laughing? I don't know. You tell me. And I know that they're going to be people, oh my God, this is so boring. Why are you talking about this? This is like, I am not saying that I am this naval expert. This fleet tracker is interesting. Fleet tracker. So according to August 16, 2021, you could see, but it doesn't show all 11. Okay. You can see where, well, according to this, where our aircraft carriers are. But we need to have a presence, near Korea. We need to have a presence near in the Middle East, Persian Gulf. We need to have a presence in the Atlantic. We need to have a presence in the Pacific. So if they blockade Taiwan, how on earth do you stop that? Because it wouldn't be an overt military confrontation, but it would serve the purpose of an invasion, and it would essentially, unfortunately, cause the country to collapse, and God bless the people of Taiwan. I don't want that to happen. I do not want that to happen. I'm reading NBC News articles. Okay, I'm not making this stuff up. Everyone's talking about it now. Gee, do you think the president of the most populous country in the world is talking about it? You think maybe he's thinking this is the weakest point that we've been in this country in a long time, since Jimmy Carter? You think maybe that's a possibility? We don't have the money for a protracted conflict, by the way. Everyone knows this. The reason that we are in these 20-year military conflicts, counterinsurgency conflicts, which the Soviets lost, the French lost, we'd never learn, is one of the main reasons we have the money to do so. We don't have the money. I think the most populous country in the world probably does have the money. They have the inclination because it's one of the most important issues in their national security. You tell me. Please, if you're in the Navy, you're a Navy veteran, you tell me. Am I right in being worried? Am I right in what I'm looking at in terms of the Naval aircraft carrier tracker and fleet and marine tracking website? That'll be below. You tell me. And if that, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid happened, you'd have, but first of all, Mashed Potato Brains doesn't have any, like, he fails at everything. But he was the most popular, but he fails at everything. Our country has become his son's life, which has been a fantastic thing. What happens, not if they invade militarily in an amphibious assault, what happens if they blockade Taiwan? They have the advantage in terms of geography. They have the advantage in terms of time. They have the advantage in terms of resources. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I don't think we would get into a nuclear confrontation. I don't know. I don't know. God bless the people of Taiwan. I do not want this to happen. But, it would lead to Biden's resignation, which is what this segment is about. But that would be a catastrophic thing for the world to see Taiwan fall. It would be a catastrophic, devastating thing for the entire world. And it would be something that, if you are the most populous country in the world, the military leaders there would probably say, look, if there's ever a time to do it, it could be now. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Am I right in being worried? And what do you think would happen? Give me your thoughts. Thank you. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.